Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Rank where I climb the online Series 7 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. In the last episode, we featured a team with Blaziken, so we'll be playing a couple more games with it today. Now, you can try out this team, it's a rental code, and there's a paste in the description below, so feel free to give it a go. Thank you to Alex for the team, and let's get right into it. I think, having played a couple more games with this team just earlier to try it out, Tailwind is a really tricky matchup, and as you saw yesterday, there are a fair amount of Pokemon that give Blaziken trouble, right? So for example, in this matchup, actually, there is a Galarian Moltres. Fini is actually not too bad, mainly because we have Max Lightning here, but Moltres is a problem. That being said, actually, Blaziken does not look terrible here because of its ability, like, outside of Moltres, it's pretty good against everything else. This team is really interesting because they have potential Trick Room, right? If you want to set up Trick Room, you could go Rillaboom, Stack Attack off, Fake Out Trick Room. There's also the Mamoswine, which is kind of a problem because you can just... Okay, another thing to watch out for here is Self Ice Shard into the Moltres. I think that's definitely a possibility. I think the Mamoswine plus Moltres lead is really scary, and I think I actually have to respect that so much to the point where I think I actually lead Tapu Fini to have super effective damage into both. Yeah, honestly, that is what I'm thinking of. Bisharp Fini, not a lead I normally would go with, but I think could work out for us here. And I think I want Zapdos and Blaziken in the back. This is an interesting one, because normally against Galarian Moltres, I would probably prioritize Dynamaxing Zapdos, but because I think Mamoswine plus Moltres is a very likely lead, and the normal answers against that, like the normal answers against Moltres just don't work as well here, because Mamoswine covers it super well. I think I'm going to try leading Expert Belt Fini, which I think could be decent here, so let's see. Thanks as always for watching Road to Rank, though, and question of the day, I want to know what your favorite thing about Sword and Shield is. Let me know in the comments below. Okay, they lead with Rotom and Moltres. It's not amazing, but I guess it's not terrible. I mean, they could very easily just go Airstream Thunderbolt into Fini turn 1, right? Yeah, I think that's a very probable play, actually. We are faster with Bisharp, so I can't get Assurance off either, which isn't great. Would you KO with an Airstream? I mean, I could Dynamax Rotom, right? And I can just go for a Geyser. But then you get a free switch in. But I don't want to activate Policy. And I do have Zapdos and then Blaziken in the back. I don't know. I mean, the thing is I could switch here, but then I take an Airstream and a attack. I guess Zapdos could actually roost that off the next turn. Wait, that's actually a pretty interesting thought. Okay, I'm going to actually switch out into Zapdos here. And go for Assurance, just for damage onto Rotom. I guess, well, Rotom can't Will-O-Wisp here. I think you, I guess, the one thing to think about is, like, Nasty Plot could come out right now. But because I have Misty Seed and Roost, I actually feel like this isn't too bad. Yeah, they Dynamax. Okay. So I didn't get the Mammal lead that I was expecting. Now, Fini is still really good into everything that my opponent brought. I still don't know if it was correct to... Like, maybe it would have been better to just max it. Oh! Oh, okay. Now that I did not consider. Huh. That's actually really smart. That is really freaking smart. Are they plotting? Okay, they just go Fire. Ooh, it's a double up into Bisharp then, isn't it? Is that Specs or Life Orb? Oh, okay, you crit. Yeah, I was like, you did way too much damage there. Huh. They max Flare into Bisharp. Very nice play. Okay. Well, this is an interesting game. This is very interesting now. Nice play. Really nice play, turn 1. I was never expecting Rotom to Dynamax there. And yeah, Rotom Heat's really good in the metagame right now. Like, I think it's excellent. Man, this is tricky. Because, like, how do I need Fini or a close combat from Blaziken to beat the Rotom. Right? So, maybe it's, The thing is that you're probably Policy on the Moltres. I don't think I KO you. But I also feel like I need to Dynamax the Tapu Fini to max Geyser. Wow, that was actually such a big rain turn 1 play. Like, really well done there. I do not know what we can do. Okay, I'm gonna try Thunderbolt Max and Geyser. I mean, that's not KOing Rotom. If I actually just Dynamaxed Fini and Geyser last turn, we would have been fine. Because we would have changed the weather, we wouldn't have taken any damage. And then the rain would be up in the subsequent turn, and you really don't want to max Flare. But I was just fully reading into Moltres maxing, and I think it was so smart for my opponent to max the Rotom. I don't know, what's my best lead against Rotom with this team? The Rotom Zapdos, or Rotom Moltres. Fini Amogus? I don't even know about that one. Okay, Moltres protects, that's actually okay. Okay, we're faster with Zapdos. Not a surprise there. Does this KO in Sun? Okay, it doesn't. That's actually huge. That's actually huge. Because now, what I can do is I have Roost. I changed the weather as well. You would think they would want to max Lightning the Fini. Okay, yeah, I think now we're back in it. It was looking really bad after turn 1, honestly, but now this next turn, I think we have a chance. Because what I want to do here is Roost with the Zapdos, heal back up. Oh, unless, I guess Moltres could maybe just KO Zapdos here. I actually don't think it would with any of its attacks, but I guess we'll have to find out. What I want to do here is Roost, and I want to go for the max Starfall onto the Moltres. Roost is really safe here. Given that we outspeed Rotom, like neither Max Flare nor Max Lightning will KO after Roost. And yeah, I mean, it's just a question of the Moltres right now. I also think, oh, they switch out. Rillaboom? Yeah. Oh, that's a great switch. Now we do have accurate Hurricanes. I'm just thinking about like, because like Zapdos is really good against my opponent's team, especially after getting these boosts. But that would have been a reason to Hailstorm. I was thinking about Hailstorm, but I don't know if the Hailstorm KOs the Moltres, which is why I didn't. However, this is interesting because they will change the terrain by going for Max Lightning, which means you do not have the priority Grassy Glides now, which is actually a really big deal. Oh, I guess I was Starfalling into last slot anyway, so that was always changing. Okay, but here's the thing now, right? I can just go for a Hurricane into Rillaboom. Holy cow, that's gotta be Assault Vest, I think. There's no way you survive that otherwise, as well as you did. It's gotta be AB. AB makes sense too. It's not like crazy or anything. But we have another turn of Max, right? So I think I can just go Hurricane into the Rillaboom and Geyser into the Rotom. I need to knock out Rotom because I have no answer to it otherwise. Like my Zapdos and my... Oh, actually, Blaziken in close combat, maybe in this range KOs. Should have thought about that more. I don't even think Hurricane KOs the Rillaboom here, but Rillaboom's definitely not KOS in return, nor do you have those Grassy Glides. That is so bulky, though. Like, to take only 40% from a max move is kind of crazy. Okay, they go for Fake Out. That's fine. We flinch. And they Thunderbolt Fini. That's also fine. Okay. So, I mean, all things considered, we do knock out... We trade maxes. We knock out the Rotom. I've got a Zapdos here, which is really good against Rillaboom and the opposing Galarian Moltres, especially because we have that special defense boost, right? They don't have terrain up either, so they can't go for Grassy Glides. Question is, what do you have on the Rillaboom? With the Salt Vest, you obviously want Fake Out Glide, and then any combination of like Wood Hammer, High Horsepower, U-Turn, Knockoff. So if you have Wood Hammer, that could be a problem for us here. But I don't... Switching into Blaziken's also really risky here. I'm leaning towards Roosting. It's just fear of activating a weakness policy on the Moltres. I could just Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt Ice Beam or Thunderbolt Moonblast into Moltres. I guess you could also protect Moltres, right? Okay, I want to Roost here. And I think I'll go for the Moonblast onto Moltres. They'll still do a lot. It's just fear of policy. Okay, they switch out Rillaboom, which is pretty good news for us, I would say. Into Fini. Okay, that's... Zapdos is in a phenomenal position right now, I think. And they just go for Fiery Wrath. Oh, that's really good for us if we don't flinch. Oh, come on, Zapdos. Okay, nice. Fini flinching here would actually be fine. I wouldn't mind that too much. But, I mean, Moonblast would be huge, too. Okay, nice. The reason why is just because of fear of a weakness policy. I think this is very likely policy. Wow, that did so much, though. Yeah, it is policy. Ooh, I mean, it is policy plus Berserk. So, like, that's a little scary. But it's in KO range from any attack at this point, right? I wish Zapdos were faster here. But it's fine. Like, I want to Roost again, to be honest. Because I think Moltres protects here. If you're my opponent, what do you go for? Protect Muddy Water, I think is pretty safe. Roost Moonblast is decent here, I think, as well. Because Fiery Wrath won't KO us. Okay, they go for Fiery Wrath. We win if they don't flinch here, I think. Because, yeah, they don't KO either. Oh, actually, their Fini could be faster, I guess. Okay, Zapdos avoids the flinch, but the more important one is the Fini here. Come on, Fini. Oh, they are faster, though. Wait, that might be bad. Oh, but they target Zapdos? Okay. It's a roller coaster of emotions right now. Ah, Fini does not flinch. Okay. Oh, this was scary. You can see how good Expert Belt Fini is damage-wise, right? Like 90% to Galarian Moltres. It's pretty sick. And I think if this Fini doesn't have max special attack investment too. So if I had max special attack investment, that actually may have been a KO, which is kind of nuts. Okay, we still haven't won this though, which is the scary thing. But I think we're in good position right now because Zapdos looks very good into these two Pokemon. Plus, we have a Blaziken in the back, right? So they changed the terrain. That's fine. You have to fake out Zapdos here, but that's why I keep going for a Roost, right? Because like my opponent just can't do much damage to this. Oh, this next turn is interesting, though. Because maybe you fake out Muddy Water and then do enough damage to Zapdos where... Oh, I didn't think about that. Where Grassy Glide can KO, then. But I can't... Can Blaziken survive a Muddy Water? Yeah, we might not actually be good here. Because, like, I actually want Fini to faint. I mean, I can Ice Beam Roost, but I think... my opponent's play here, I think, is fake out Muddy Water into Zapdos. That's a lot. Oh, we got a Paralysis, though. I didn't think that... Oh, the Fini Speed Tie. Right? They went first last time around. Ice Beam does not KO, okay. Huh, they Calm Mind. Interesting. Okay, Calm Mind is... it's still scary. I mean, the question is whether or not Glide KOs the Zapdos. You're Assault Vested. This is a really close endgame. Oh, Zapdos should survive. We have 65 HP. There's no way we're fainting here. So I think it's just Roost Ice Beam. I could have taunted Fini this last turn. That Paralysis is fortunate because it means that, I mean... I think without the parry, you'd probably have the opportunity to Wood Hammer, but yeah, they go for the Glide here. Okay, into Tapu Fini, but that's fine, I think, because I guess actually Fini can keep boosting up on my opponent's end. Hold on. They should boost up, to be honest. I don't know if I can deal with the Calm Minds. Maybe I needed to taunt it. I was hoping Ice Beam could KO the Rillaboom, but we knew it was AV. Okay, they just go Moonblast, though. That's fine. How much do you do? 160 down to 88. Oh, that's a really bad attack drop, though. That is really bad. Because I was thinking... Oh, that may have cost us the game. What do I do? Because I was thinking Thunderbolt plus Thunder Punch is a KO. I mean, his Rillaboom is still a threat too, right? Like, I can't ignore it. Well, either way, I mean, it's a really fun game. But nice Calm Mind there. Can't help but think I maybe needed to taunt then instead. I was thinking Zapdos would be good in this endgame, but I don't think we do enough damage into Tapu Fini. How many turns of Trainer left, actually? Because that's pretty important. There's still 3. That's really bad. Yikes. Oh, I might have to Hurricane Protect and force the 2v1 here, to be honest. Because I don't think Thunderbolt, Thunder Punch KOs Tapu Fini without, like, Electric Train being up. Yeah, they go Glide into Blaziken. We need to hit Hurricane now. Okay, we can act on that. I wonder if actually the win con is then to Hurricane Fini to hope for a confusion here rather than Thunderbolt. We get a crit there, but that's not the crit I needed. Lucky enough to connect in the first place, though. 70% kind of shaky. And they go Muddy Water. Okay. Oh. Muddy Water, Muddy Water, Muddy Water. 99 down to 54. Get a speed boost. Well, we have Thunder Punch here, right? There is a chance in which Thunderbolt into Life Orb Thunder Punch is a KO. I mean, I really want to Roost here. I don't know the calcs here super well. Roost. We should survive another Muddy Water on Zapdos, like that's the thing. I don't think Thunderbolt. If we didn't have that special attack drop, I think maybe a double would be okay. We also don't know the item on Fini yet, which is also interesting. They could miss too. Okay. I'm gonna go Thunderbolt, Thunder Punch here. 2 chances to pair it too. Oh, actually, oh, that's not a KO. Yeah. Oh, well, there's the para chance. You're not Citrus. Are you Figgy? One of those berries? Oh, that was a lot. Actually, yeah, that almost was a KO. Yeah, it is one of the bulky berries. Okay, well, this becomes a very interesting endgame. First of all, you have to double hit Muddy Water. But they miss onto Zapdos. Well, Blaziken was the one that would have like sealed up the game for us. Like, this is still not over. Because I have to click Roost a bunch now. That was obviously a fortunate paralysis. Didn't end up changing anything this turn, but maybe relevant in the long endgame here. But that's why, like, if we didn't have that special attack drop, I think we would have just KO'd with the double up there. So that was a big one too. But yeah, lots of RNG in this match both ways. I should have taunted the Fini though. I can't help but think. If you're my opponent, I think you just keep clicking Moonblast. Yeah, maybe I mean, how much does this do? Let's see. 149 down to 82. And the cool thing, that's actually an interaction you don't see very often, where because I get grounded, I get the Grassy Terrain recovery. Terrain is gone here, though. I think it's better to just keep clicking Roost. Now, I do risk special attack drops at every given point, but because I got that paralysis on them, I think it's to just... As soon as they get a para, then we can just click Thunderbolt. I'm pretty sure we can actually survive here as well. But wow, talk about a crazy first game here. We might only have time for 2 matches today. But either way, this was a really interesting match back and forth. Especially with the Rotom Heat Max on turn 1. Okay, they go for another move. The thing is, every time I Roost, I also risk more special attack drops, right? 188 down to 25. Yeah, there's another one. 180 down to 40. I need to cycle between... The thing is, I don't maximize recovery from Roost on this turn. Because I'm already above 50%, so I'm going to Thunderbolt this turn. Timer is also like something to watch out for. That's actually still really good damage from T-Ball. I'm pretty happy about that, considering the special attack drops. But I think we're going to have to Roost a bunch here. 125 down to 58. Okay. 125, was it? Down to 58? So around, yeah, like 70 plus? Or just under 70? Yeah. I mean, I think it's just Roost. If they get parried at a single point, they lose, right? So I actually think it would have been more optimal for them to click... Oh, well, not necessarily. I was going to say click Calm Mind. Actually, I think it is better to Calm Mind instead of wasting Moonblast PP right now. And we finally get a paralysis. Okay. So I think, like, it evened out here in the end, where the para on Rillaboom I don't think made much of a difference. So it could have changed. I think you click Grassy Glide with it anyway. Thunderbolt I don't think KOs here, but they need a crit here. Because another T-Bolt will finish it off. Talk about a crazy endgame here. There's only 3 minutes left in this game, too. Zapdos survives. Another special attack drop, but we should definitely be picking up the KO there. So, yeah. I could have taunted the Tapu Fini, but I felt like I needed... One, I thought maybe Ice Beam could KO Rillaboom, and maybe that was wishful thinking, considering we knew it was Assault Vest, and we saw how little Starfall did earlier to it. But this was a really interesting match, where I thought my opponent had a really smart Dynamax turn 1. I feel like they didn't need to protect turn 2 with the Moltres. Them protecting plus not going for Max Lightning onto Fini was really big. And I'm guessing they were reading into my Fini going for Max Guard, right? Or just a Protect. But that really paid off there because Zapdos hung on. And you can see how good Roost Zapdos can be, where like It was just so bulky in this match. Citrus Nasty Plot, yeah, so standard Rotom Heat. Sash Mammal Swine. Yeah. Taunt, interesting. So there's no Nasty Plot on that. We saw the weakness policy. Yeah, pretty standard stuff otherwise. Okay, interesting. Whew, yeah, that was a really crazy match. I don't know. I mean, I got outled. I did not expect the Rotom Moltres lead at all. If anything, that game should highlight why Zapdos is really good, but I feel like it should have been a wrap in the end game. I mean, yeah, if that special attack drop doesn't happen, I'm pretty sure the Thunder Punch into Thunderbolt to KO onto Fini. Given that Fini was at like, what, 40% or so, and Thunderbolt put it at like 10-15%, maybe it would have survived actually, but if that initial special attack drop doesn't happen, then instead of clicking the Roost or whatnot, I can just click Thunderbolt a bunch, I think. So I think going for the double electric there was worth it, especially because, yeah, if there's a double para chance, and if I get a para on either, which we ended up getting, it increases our odds there as well. But that was definitely not the cleanest of matches, and I really liked my opponent's decision to Dynamax Rotom Heat, and lo and behold, we're actually up against another Rotom Heat. Not a great day for Blaziken. I will say there is a lot of stuff that's not very kind towards Blaziken in the metagame right now, so it could be a little shaky. Specs Regieleki, I think, is likely on this comp. It's definitely likely. They have their own Fini. Man. The thing is, like, Regieleki is so fast, you outspeed Scarf Landorus, too. So it's not even like I can even lead this and just put on pressure immediately. What in the world do I want to do? Ideally, I put the Dragapult in Sucker Punch KO range. So, like, I'm thinking leading... The thing is, if I lead Fini Zapdos and my opponent goes Trick Room with Glacier stuff, I'm doomed. I'm super Omega doomed. But the thing is that Blaziken as a regular sweeper is actually not bad here for Flare Blitz in close combat and Thunder Punch into Fini. Especially if I set up electric terrain. What's the reason of leading Zapdos Fini here? To get the Spadef boost? And to potentially Dynamax Fini if my opponent leads Rotom Heat, I guess. I'm not going to bring my Amoonguss because I think my opponent brings their Fini, which kind of makes me... Like, I don't want to get baited into clicking Spore, basically, and then have them switch in terrain. And I feel like they should bring in Amoonguss, but yeah. I don't know. Blaziken's not a great Maxmon, at least in the early game against this team, because one, there's a Dragapult, that alone is bad, but two, there's also Regieleki, so you can just go, like, you can double up on a Blaziken, and you have Electro Web, pressure, which is not good. That's Dragapult and Dusclops. Oh, that's really bad. Like, the thing is, hilariously enough, Blaziken Bisharp into this specific lead actually would have been fine. Now, we do have the Taunt on Fini, actually, which I forgot about, kind of, but I wouldn't be surprised if this were self-Shadow Sneak and a Weakness Policy, too. Actually, Fini could potentially Dynamax here. We have the Expert Belt as well, which they're going to see. Huh. If you're leading Dusclops Dragapult, actually, that's always Weakness Policy. It's always Weakness Policy. But the thing is, if I don't, like, regular Glastrier could be waiting for us in the back, and that's really bad, too. So, like, I feel forced to Taunt, but then they could just go self-Shadow Sneak into Policy. Okay. I think we have to Dynamax Fini here, to be honest, so I'm going to just Hurricane, Max, and Starfall it. I don't even know if that KOs, but I guess we're going to find out. It's been a while since I've seen Dragapult plus Policy, but it's very good here. So, like, Blaziken Bisharp actually would have been solid against this, because it's like, if you want to Dynamax Dragapult, that means you're activating Defiant on Bisharp. And Bisharp, with the Dark-type coverage, is so good into both of these. But I didn't feel super safe leading the Bisharp. Especially into, like, a Rotom Heat. But maybe it actually would have been okay, because my opponent had a Regieleki. So it's like, if you Electro Web, you would activate Defiant. Although, I was playing a match earlier, just for fun, and Specs Electro Web did, like, 90% to Bisharp. It's just not great. It's not great. Okay. Yeah, I'm still thinking about that last one. Oh, they're just Helping Hand instead. Okay. I would rather see Helping Hand than a Policy go off. Yeah, it's not close to knocking out Fini. Now, the problem is that Dusclops will probably Trick Room, right? And I think there's going to be a Glastrier waiting in the back, too. Hurricane connects. I actually think we should just pick up the KO here on turn 1, then, given that it connected. Nice. I mean, the thing is, I really, really wanted to taunt the Dusclops. Do you not have weakness policy Shadow Sneak then? They didn't have Life Orb on Dragapult either, so then what's the item? Soulvest? I wonder if regular Moonblast actually would have KO'd there, because if so, it would have been better to not Dynamax Fini so that I can taunt Dusclops. They bring out their own Tapu Fini. Which is fine. I mean, Zapdos is in a pretty good spot right now, right? I think Fini definitely protects here as you Trick Room, but there's no point in doubling up onto the Dusclops. So, I am just going to Thunderbolt and Starfall. If they do get a little careless and just, like, not protect with Fini, maybe go for a Calm Mind, we'd probably just knock out that slot. Okay, and they don't protect. Nice. How much is T-Bolt? Oh! Okay, I was like, there's no way that one-shots, right? Yeah. It should do, what, like 60-70%-ish or so? Obviously a lucky crit. We've had very good fortune in this episode. Pretty good damage from Starfall, actually. But yeah, this has been a fast-paced game. I'm trying to figure out the Dragapult set. Why are you not weakness policy with Shadow Sneak? Is the policy on Glastrier then, which is coming in here, presumably? Is that Glastrier? It is Glastrier. Huh. The thing is, like, Glastrier is so good against us, typing-wise, like, this is still anyone's game. And that's really scary. Because you can obviously just go for the Ice-type attack here onto Zapdos, right? So I actually think I'm going to switch out into Blaziken here. I don't need the Spadef boost at this point, and what we need to do is just knock out the Glastrier, so I'm just going to Geyser it to set up the Rain. The question would have been if I didn't get the crit, whether or not a Starfall would have KO'd Fini if it had a Recovery Berry, and I'm not sure it would have. Okay, they Helping Hand, but I would think you Helping Hand Icicle Crash. I mean, if you Helping Hand like high horsepower, you're an absolute god here. But yeah, they went for Icicle Crash. The main thing I have to make sure is that Glastrier does not get boosted up. Like, that's the main thing. So that's why I switched in Blaze. That is so much damage, though. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's Life Orb Glastrier. That means the policy definitely was on Dragapult. But then why is it not Shadow Sneak? Like, why not Shadow Sneak instead of Helping Hand turn 1? Unless you are policy without Shadow Sneak on Dusclops. That's another possibility, because they do real Trick Room, Helping Hand. I would think Nightshade Pain Split then, if you're not running Shadow Sneak. Okay, having Sash on Bisharp in the back is pretty good for us right now. You can't KO both of our Pokemon here, actually, so I think it's safe to just close combat Muddy Water. I think Muddy Water does enough damage. We're after a Life Orb on the Glastrier. Sucker Punch should KO. They do have Shadow Sneak. Why didn't they go for the policy then? And, oh, that means they don't have Nightshade. If you are going for that play. Right? Yeah, you definitely don't have Nightshade then. Okay. Why not go for policy turn 1? I guess, okay, the reason actually would have been because they didn't want to take chip damage. Yeah, this is the answer then. They didn't want to take enough chip damage because Shadow Sneak does still, you know, like 10-15% or so. And they didn't want to be in KO range of either a Fini attack or maybe, yeah, I mean, just an attack from Tapu Fini. That's my best explanation there. Granted, Tapu Fini would have survived anyway, and we still would have knocked out Dragapult turn 1, so I think it still would have been okay. So, Shadow Sneak, Trick Room, Helping Hand, and Pain Split, presumably, given that there's no Nightshade. Because otherwise you Nightshade the Blaziken there every time. There's no need to Shadow Sneak there. So, yeah. I think even if they went Shadow Sneak and the policy activates turn 1, we're probably still okay. But what was really big here was their Fini not protecting. And perhaps it was like Specs Fini, for example, right? I don't know the item on it, so I don't know. It's hard to evaluate like what would have really happened if we didn't get the crit. If it was my best bet, though, and it was a bulky berry, I actually think maybe it can survive Thunderbolt plus a Max Starfall after you heal back. And if that's the case, then that game would have played out very, very differently. But Fini surviving there actually isn't even the worst case for us because that burns a turn of Trick Room on their end immediately, and that's good for us. Because then, you know, your Fini is out just for another turn. But we'll have time for a third match, so let's go for it. Oh, goodness, this looks awful. Tornadus, Mamoswine, Cinderace. And Tailwind's already tough, but, like, Mamoswine is really good. I was funny, because I was so worried about Mamoswine in that first match, and it didn't even come out. This is rough. This is really rough, because their team is so freaking fast. Like, everything is what? The slowest base speed Pokemon is the Mamoswine. And then you have, like, Indeedee Mill at 95, Urshifu at 97. Now you go Cinderace, Tornadus all above 100. Oh, gosh. And we don't have a Trick Room option here either. Well, if you're my opponent, I think Tornadus is a safe lead. You definitely want to set up Tailwind. Tornadus plus anything is good here. And that's the tough thing. I have no idea what my opponent's going to pair with the Tornadus. That's so bad. Even the Psychic Terrain stuff here is bad. I think maybe it's a Bisharp lead? Bisharp Fini? Fini's actually, yeah, Bisharp Fini could work here, actually. Is there any reason, I mean, Zapdos' only value is to lead against Tornadus, but it really does not do well into anything else. Scarf Landorus just into a Tailwind matchup seems really shaky, so maybe it's Amoonguss just for redirection support. Yeah, okay, I like this. I'm gonna go Amoonguss Blaziken, because the idea is if Mamoswine doesn't come out or it's not on the field, the thing with Amoonguss is that at least it offers a turn of Rage Powder, or it can Spore something potentially as well. And given that a lot of my opponent's Pokemon aren't grounded, even with Tapu Fini setting up the terrain, Amoonguss can still Spore. But on paper, this looks very shaky, because the idea behind Blaziken normally is you want to outspeed your opponent and just like overwhelm them with offense. Tornadus now Ego. Okay. Well, Zapdos would have been terrible here because you could just Power Gem. Or sorry, not Power Gem. Meteor Beam. So, it's actually not awful, I would say. Bisharp is really good in this position. The big question is, what does my opponent Dynamax in the back? My read is, I mean, you should Tailwind here still, right? And use Sludge Bomb. So, like, I could go into Amoonguss. Because I think I Dynamax Tapu Fini here, actually. Go into Amoonguss and Iron Head the now Ego. Because I'm expecting it to be a Power Herb Meteor Beam, not Power Gem. So, like, I think maybe here you Sludge Bomb. I mean, if you have Heat Wave, you could go for the crazy play of, like, Heat Wave and Meteor Beam into Bisharp. And if they go for that, we probably just lose, and props to them, because that's a really impressive turn 1 play. Okay, that's also a good play. Not great. Protect Tailwind. Kind of greedy. I feel like Calm Mind there really would have punished them. But now we're in a tricky spot. Man, if we were Calm Mind Fini, actually, that would have been so good turn 1. I would think Cinderace wants to switch out here. The other question, like, I don't know if you have Heat Wave or not. Most Tornaduses don't run it. Okay, wait, actually, the question to ask is, are they weak to Kartana? I don't really think so. Because if they were super Kartana weak, I think it's more likely for them to have Heat Wave. But they're not really in this position. Protect Iron Head here is really obvious. I think it's too obvious, actually. Whoa, that's not what I want to go. I'm going Spore Iron Head because I can see now you go switching out here, but maybe they just double up. Okay, they just go Taunt. That's also fine. Like, the only other play I was going to make was Protect in that position. Yeah, they go Meteor Beam. Into Amoonguss, presumably? Actually, maybe you target Bisharp to break a Sash. That'd be really smart. Okay. This isn't terrible, though, because I actually think Fini does pretty well Dynamaxed into my opponent's team. This does so much damage, though. Yeah, into... Oh, my gosh. Down to 24 HP. But this should be a KO, at least, I think. Okay, nice. Sludge Bomb would have been nice there. Breaks a potential Focus Sash on the Tornadus. Or Protect. Because the thing is, I have to switch Amoonguss out, which is the tricky thing. We've seen Taunt, Tailwind, Flying type attack. Like Hurricane, Air Slash, Cinderace maybe here. Oh, Mamoswine. That's a problem. That's... Well, that's why we brought Fini, actually, so maybe it's not as bad as I think it is. What does Amoonguss do here? I think it does nothing. I think we actually just Sludge Bomb here and Sucker Punch into Mamoswine. Because I think we have to bring out Fini and Dynamax the Fini. But the problem... Oh, interesting. They actually don't max Mamoswine because I think they're going for EQ, which makes a lot of sense. But there is a chance now, I think. Oh, they went for high horsepower. Interesting. Because now, what I was worried about was Mamoswine maxing to max Quake and get special defense boosts. But even if they max now, Geyser should pick up the KO. Like, they took a lot of damage there. So I could actually go out into Tapu Fini now. The other interesting consideration is, do I even Dynamax here? Muddy Water could work. Oh, wait, how many turns of Dynamax Tailwind do they have left? There's only one turn left. Hold on. If you only have one turn left and I pick up the knockout onto Tornadus, that's a really big deal, right? Because then my Blaziken will outspeed you in this endgame. So I'm actually going to Hailstorm into the Tornadus, get the knockout onto that. Because I think regular Blaziken is... What's in the back for my opponent? I think it's Cinderace. But Fini does decently well into Cinderace. I mean, it takes a bunch of damage from like max Steel Spike, maybe Max Strike. But this is actually not too bad. But that's the thing, you have to lead so carefully against these Tailwind teams, because if you don't, you'll kind of just lose on turn 1, to be honest. Okay, they just Air Slash, that's fine. I don't mind Amoonguss going down here. Okay. Yep, high horsepower. Is that banded by any chance? Doesn't look like it. I could have Muddy Water there, but I really don't want another Tailwind to go up, because the thing is, now I get Blaziken out. But they could just max Airstream if they have... Oh, but if you max Airstream with Cinderace, I could Hailstorm you. I don't know. I thought, I'm also surprised to see Mamoswine go for high horsepowers instead of Earthquakes, because, like, if they just had Earthquake there, they could have picked up a double KO, right? So let's see what the last one is. I'm expecting Cinderace. I think that makes the most sense, given how this game is played out. Yep. Cinderace. Okay, what's my play here? It's definitely to protect Blaziken, regardless. I think it's actually to protect Blaziken and Hailstorm the... Is it to Hailstorm Cinderace? I don't know if that knocks out, even if you Airstream here. You can also Airstream high horsepower Fini. Maybe that's enough for a KO. So actually, maybe I don't protect Blaziken then. Is that crazy? I think the protect is super duper obvious here, that I like kind of want to just attack the Mamoswine. So then I think you Airstream. Yeah, I'm gonna close combat and Hailstorm into Cinderace, expecting it to Airstream and change typing. I don't know. I feel like I did as much of like the best I could other than turn 1 in this matchup, but it's still not great, right? Like we're still not in a super good winning position, so I don't know. I think it's Airstream, but I don't know who it's targeting. I also don't know if Airstream into high horsepower KOs Tapu Fini, and that's my fear. Yep, there's the Airstream. Okay, so the Hailstorm into Cinderace was correct, but I don't know if that KOs. Let's see who they're targeting. Okay, into Blaziken. That's actually okay if we knock out the Cinderace here, though. I just don't know if we do. I have one more turn of Dynamax, so if we KO Cinderace, I actually think we win, because we can just Geyser Mammal. We're Life Orbed. We're Expert Bell. I don't know if this KOs. Okay, and we actually would have survived the double up on Fini, I think, so maybe it was correct. That looks like banded damage, but I have no idea. Ah, Cinderace survives. Okay, it was worth it. It was worth a try. Yeah. The only thing I think I could have done differently was turn 1. No. There was another turn. The turn that I got taunted onto Amoonguss, I could have switched Amoonguss out, because I think taunt and... or protected there. Or Rage Powder, so that Bisharp doesn't take any chip damage. But good conservation of Cinderace on my opponent's end. Was the play to Dynamax Blaziken? Like, the other play I think I could have made here was actually, instead of Dynamaxing Tapu Fini, I could have gone Ice Beam into Tornadus to pick up the KO. I maxed there to survive, but I actually think, yeah, maybe the correct action would have been to Dynamax Cinderace in this, or sorry, Blaziken in this endgame. But the thing is, Blaziken still gets wrecked by the Cinderace, to be honest. So, Cinderace is just really scary to go up against. Yeah, there's not much we can do now. You can just Airstream. Yeah. So, the couple things I can think about, I got the lead that I wanted. I was expecting the Tornadus Now Ego lead. Turn 1, nicely done on my opponent's end to protect Now Ego. I was hoping to bait them into Sludge Bombing there. But because we don't have Calm Mind, we get punished pretty heavily. Horsepower KOs, yeah. So turn 1, really good play on my opponent's end. Turn 2, I had the Amoonguss out. Maybe, yeah, I think the reason I went for Spore was because I was like, I'm already behind in this match, so if my opponent messes up and like doesn't KO the Amoonguss, then and we get a Spore off, we invalidate one slot basically for at least a turn, and I think that's a big advantage for us. So I don't regret going for it. I mean, what would Rage Powder have accomplished? Bisharp doesn't take any chip damage. I guess that's the main thing. And then we knock out the Now Ego. You still bring out Mamoswine. I really want to know if they had Earthquake or not. I'm curious about that. How do I beat Max Cinderace, though? Because it outspeeds everything. It's so good into this team. I don't know if there's a great answer. That's just a testament to how, like, Cinderace, I feel like, is maybe a little bit underplayed right now. So if you're looking for a Pokemon that's still really strong, I think Cinderace is something that definitely could see a resurgence in the metagame, and it's something you should give some thought to. So, yeah. Definitely an interesting set of games. It was not very good for Blaziken today, unfortunately, but that's just how the cookie crumbles. Like, you're not going to always get the best matchups. And the reality is that, like, this team is built so that, like, it doesn't just have to be Blaziken to be the carry, right? Like, Zapdos, Fini can also be very viable Dynamax candidates, and Fini was great for us today. So, yeah. Fun set of games, though. So, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thanks, as always, for watching. And, yeah, if you're trying out this team, I do think that Tailwind matchups can be pretty tough, mainly because there's no way to deny the Tailwind, so you're basically trying to stall it out, but if they have really offensive mons like Cinderace or like Dragapult, can kind of just run you over. So, yeah, I don't know. I got to think about how to approach that matchup a little bit better, because I feel like maybe I didn't do everything that I could have, but yeah, I need some time to think about it. So, thanks as always for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll catch you all next time. All right, peace.